Yeah, go ahead.
Pascal, I wanted to talk to you about your brilliant essay where it was called Global U.S. Military Operation #Storm Reality in 2024. A lot of people are getting to know you about this article, and it was that article where I first heard about you. And it was linked to me from a Rumble video. I was compelled to look it up. You appeared in that video. I read this article and I was instantly interested in you. And referencing that article, that one #Storm, I have the following questions. Are
Sure.
you, first of all, the person who coined the term democide?
Let me say hello to everybody. First of all, to you, engineer, and to all your loyal followers who learned a lot from you about 9/11. You've done a great job debunking the official cabal deep state version. And you've proven that those planes didn't exist really, and the buildings were blown up, unfortunately. And I greet, of course, with that all human species, fellow humans around the world, or on our earth, I have to say. And specifically, I would like to give a lot of compliments and pay tribute to all brave men and women that are in active war duty around the world under the US military command since March 27th, 2020, in the US-led global defense war, which is still covert, but I can inform the people about it. I joined the US military by reporting Switzerland. We'll talk about that in a minute. But compliments to all those brave young men and women who are doing a deadly fight. This is a real war. People say it's covert, it's not so deadly. No. It's maybe even more deadly than the wrong wars you saw on CNN. This is the war that ends all wars, and they are doing the right thing. And the parents of those children, great parents. You know what? You can be proud of them. And these include Canadian officers, soldiers, United States, of course, who has the command, Russians, Indians, Chinese, Germans, Spanish, Italians. I don't know the list. The full list is secret, but we have compiled a few names that are definitely in the operation and that I can mention. So thank you for your time.
And thank you very much for yours. And you'll excuse me for my clumsiness. This is
No
the
problem.
first interview I'm giving,
No problem.
and I'm a little bit nervous.
No.
Oh boy, this is, you are an absolutely, I'm thrilled to the gills to have you as my first guest on this channel. I've put together this Rumble channel in order to summarize my work as engineer, looking at 9/11 and more recently the bridge collapse in Maryland. There's a lot going on in the world at any given time.
Yeah.
And when you first appeared on the scene, you were like a breath of fresh air because you brought together what I knew deep down in my gut was going on. I know this is happening. And to hear you talking about it with such certainty and such poise was really a thrill to me and to many people out there. And we're all of us asking, who is this mysterious Pascal Najadi, who modestly says, I'm not that mysterious, but it takes time to get to know somebody. And we'd like to get to know you just a little bit during this session.
Sure.
So back to that first question that I so eagerly charged into. Did you come up with the expression democide? Because I hadn't used that term used before, Pascal.
Let's talk. I don't talk about lawyers because the lawyers are part of the problems that humanity got into. The justice system is wrong, will be obliterated, or is already being removed as we speak. But state judiciaries. A genocide we know, huh? We don't have to go into details, but we got fakes and real genocides. Genome, something that you have, right? A skin color, a religion that you follow, a flag that you have, a genocide, genocidal. We don't have to go into examples. People know what that means. And they, at the beginning of this COVID bioweapon attack on humanity, they said, oh, it's a genocide. I said, no, this is a democide. And I've used it first with a film team that came over from the Atlantic to Switzerland. Good guys. the famous movie cutting off the head of the snake in Geneva, which was viewed over 600 million times in a few weeks through the entire internet and all platforms. It's a 4-minute piece where Dr. Astrid Stückelberger also said her part to it. And we didn't make that film. That film was made by a professional team. Great guys. And I just spoke freely. They put a camera in front of me and said, look, talk. And I talked. And I specify this as a demo site. What these evil, bad and sick beings, they're not humans, but the military will explain to you why I'm saying that now, already to you now here. What these evil and sick, bad and sick beings have been doing, they try to exterminate the human species. Now, demo side, I just, I haven't even studied in my life, but demographics I go. Stillborn babies, murdered, to my age mother, dying, or many killed, murdered. Demographic. Therefore, for me, it's a demo site. It's irrespective of color, race, religion, flag. It was a global attack, if it was a global, on the entire population of human species who got injected against their will criminally by force. Coercion is force. Psyops. And it was from the beginning known that this is a military-grade bioweapon. Therefore, the rules of war apply. Now, the US law of war is in force wherever you sit, engineer. I'm in the United States, for sure it's in force here too, but everywhere else, in Switzerland, it's in force right now, applicable right now. Because current wartime president and commander-in-chief, my commander-in-chief too now, since 27th of January 2024, has declared war on the world, worldwide, the United States, a global defense war, covert, but it's a war. And if you declare war as a nation, then your law of war is carried out there into the battlefield. And the battlefield is right now everywhere in the world. It's a battlefield. It's a war scene. People get confused. They say, where are the tanks? Where are the planes? Where are the bombs on CNN? Those things happen when you sleep, underground, a lot of underground fighting. And taking out corporates, CEOs, pedophiles, satanic cults, you name it. And special operations, etc., etc. So the US Law of War Manual exists and is downloadable on the Department of Defense website. It's the version 2015, the War Manual 2015, updated July 2023, where the current wartime president and his general counsel of the Department of Defense have included civilians, because before the US law of war was directed at war enemies. These are people in uniform or spies to be executed as an enemy, right? But here we are dealing with mostly civilians. Prime ministers, presidents, ministers, diplomats, doctors, professors, CEOs, bankers, lawyers, judges, you name it. Media.
This is sounding really all-encompassing to me, Pascal. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. So, sorry. The Law of War Manual still has genocide in there, but it is also genocide. So if I call it a democide, it's probably the right definition. And I'm not a linguistic, and I haven't even studied in my life,
But it's an interesting term, and it's the first time we ever really saw that appear, and it's giving the impression that this is something much broader than a specific group in the human family. This is all of humanity, is what you're effectively saying.
No. Human species. You've got to be careful with humanity. We talk about treating dogs human-like, so we've got to be specific. We are not a race. We are a species. And this attack was against the human species. They wanted to eradicate our human species and keep a 500 million rump service slaves until their new modified genome, chromosome, DNA, they're modifying it, right, with these injections. they try to create a new humanoid slave robot.
Keeping a 500 million going, is that an allusion perhaps to what many people would think was written on, say, the Georgia Guidestones?
Okay, let's not go to, this was Masonic too. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Look, human species was to be reduced within several cascading pandemics. Pandemic is an invention of the WHO's criminal terminology. Doesn't exist pandemic. There is no viruses. Viruses don't exist. Not one virus has ever been isolated in a laboratory. Biomass, never. They were to eradicate us, lock us up for more than 10 years, actually, in long term. And then the 15-minute cities and all that stuff, electromobiles don't go far anymore, etc. But kill us in the next 4 to 5 years. Gone. Yeah.
In the essay, you talk about Pfizer and Moderna being fully aware of rogue military elements in engineering the bioweapon in Wuhan during the bioweapons embargo. What did you mean by the rogue military elements?
DARPA, but not all of them. You see, the US military is very big. It's big.
It is more than people can appreciate.
Yeah, and I'm aligned with the US Space Force. So consider me. But I'm not an official spokesman of the US military. Be careful. I'm speaking as a Swiss resistant, if you want to say so, former Swiss Air Force officer who has joined the US military to deliver Switzerland and evidence of their crimes against humanity as specified under Executive Order 13818. Serious crimes against humanity, corruption, and then Title 18, Section 2381, treason against the United States during wartime, because Switzerland has harbored, borne, orchestrated, engineered, tolerated, condoned, financed, supported institutions that have produced these PSYOPs with Switzerland, global PSYOPs, and the bioweapon was produced earlier. It was the gain-of-function research on the spike protein, which actually normally could be quite harmless. If you do gain-of-function, then you're reprogramming a biological element of a human body, a human species, and you weaponize it by gain-of-function. You modify it to become aggressive. But it was not the virus that created. The virus don't exist, right? No, they were doing the spikes, programming them in a way that they kill you. And that's what we have. We have 7.8 billion people now transfected, of which 5.7 billion have been force injected with a military-grade bioweapon masqueraded heinously as a COVID vaccine for a virus called COVID or corona that never existed. The gain-of-function research was financed by US taxpayers' money. Fauci funneled it with Dr. Baric and another dude in 2012 into Wuhan, a military-grade weapons lab in China, Wuhan, financed by Pasteur Paris. Oh, the cabal. And they've done all that during bioweapon freezing embargo on the United States and Canada. So they've done a double whammy. Not only have they created a bioweapon that's illegal, criminal, unauthorized, away from, but now we know which president was then president, right? You remember?
Yes. Yeah.
Dude called Obama, right?
Yeah.
A traitor, a Kenyan-born, parents Russian-speaking. In Kenya, in the village, they speak Russian. Funny.
Yes.
So a traitor who's infiltrated by the deep state, CIA, rogue elements, even wrong papers, fake papers. If you're not born in America, you cannot become president. It's fraud. It's treason. And then
President Trump was very much onto that, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, it's all known.
Origins.
It's all going to be delivered nicely, like a Christmas tree package to everybody. And Obama's gone. He's executed for treason and other abhorrent crimes like satanic rituals and other stuff. And COVID.
People will ask you, if Obama was executed, who are we seeing now?
Oh, it's a double. It's like Biden. I don't know where I'm going. And where's the exit? Here are the stairs. After 2 minutes, he has to go and sleep, right? Ice cream. Hey, his name is Arthur Roberts. Look at him.
Nick Alvear points it out in his film. Are you familiar with Nick Alvear's film Greatest Show on Earth 2023?
Sure. And these films have been produced. They're expensive movies. They're not just some homemade. They've been cheated. Operation Storm that we're going through now, or the war, I call it conveniently Storm, is the largest ever assembled, commanded, global defense war machine ever assembled in mankind's history, human species. The cabal, as you know, they own the mass media and also opposition media and opposition blogs. It's all the same thing. Deep state. But the Trump presidency since 2017, when he was in office, started to work in office. And the military decided, because they are psyops too, they are white hat psyops, the good guys, said, look, we have to grow this slowly. And the informations are coming now from the public, right? Through you and me. And they drop, not only Q drops, that's too obvious, but sometimes all of a sudden a formerly top secret document pops up in the internet and it's real. Like Susan Rice, who instructed the British to spy on President Trump's campaign. Susan Rice. Very bad.
It's my understanding she is also no longer with us.
Of course not. Treason. And don't forget, most of these guys have done these crimes against humanity and treason during wartime because, again, let's go slow. Section 1550, War Powers Resolution, Chapter 33, that is Title 50. It's now accessible, also now visible in the congressional website house.gov. United States property, right? And there it says, declaration of war has been declared by President, first mandate, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. Global defense war, a worldwide war on all nations, engaging, and it's written there, partner forces, regular and irregular. Now, I am irregular because I don't command a military army. I'm former Swiss military, saw the crime. I had to go align. I wanted to, with great pleasure, but it wasn't the right duty call because I had to make sure that the US military knows, has evidence from me about the Swiss government that has borne this COVID psyops and has injected our own people, and not only Swiss people, foreigners, Americans who live in Switzerland too. And the judiciaries, which you know, have all failed because they're all manipulated. You know that. For me, it was clear. The judiciary of a country that is defunct, rendered defunct by sitting government, which is the case, becomes a threat to national security of Switzerland. If the judiciary is no longer able to uphold watertight the Swiss constitution, that is a security risk, isn't it? For the borders, for the investors, for the human beings, for animals, for anything and everything that goes around in our territory. Correct? You understand that?
Absolutely.
It becomes a security risk if a aircraft management system of a cockpit malfunctions in 35,000 feet at 800 kilometers an hour or Mach 0.8, and the thing is not reliable anymore. I have to do something about it. I have to switch it off, right? And I had to decide, very simple. It's binary. So I'm not a hero at all. I had to decide very quickly, and I was happy to decide that quickly. I go with the US military because they've declared war about this stuff. Executive Order 13818, crimes, serious crimes against humanity, corruption, and other elements like treason, etc. Long list of crimes. I observed them as a victim. I had all the proof to deliver. The injuries, the terminal injuries, the injection date, point, doctors who injected, what material, Pfizer in my case, then the criminal charges against the president that got rejected, all that process nicely put together, and the list of names of banks, and names of judges which are on the papers, and delivered that to the Secretary of Defense of the United States at war, which exclusively, in turn, always reports only to the current, and in this case, it's current wartime President, Commander-in-Chief Donald J. Trump of the United States. So,
point being, wartime president, and
sorry, I was digressing.
That's okay. I just wanted to go back and say a little comment about you're talking about the war, and it's really extraordinary to consider that this war, as that we're referring to here, has been not only a covert war, it has also been a war that has tried like hell to avoid this conflict from spreading into the civilian population. And every day when I ponder the war, I am most grateful to the men and women who planned all of this, so I do not have to go and pick up a weapon like my ancestors did during World War II.
Yeah.
I don't have to go and fight an enemy and risk my life and get shot in the guts and die a
No, you will
death.
not. No.
I do not need to do that. None of us do. And the thing is, what do we really have to do? We have to pay a little bit more for our groceries. That's maybe a crude way of putting it, but I would much rather take that alternative than to have to physically go and fight in a war and imperil my life. And where does it get me?
Yeah, we were drifting away. Clinton's, Obama's, Biden's, deep state, Bill Gates, WHO, Switzerland, all these people planned already to kill us in 2016. 17. That's when they planned. Hillary Clinton tried to, well, she stole the election, but she failed. And the military stepped in, not adding votes to President Trump. No, they just cut off their illegal fake votes coming in to the box.
They stopped the steal, in other words, didn't they?
They sabotaged the stealing. They did not add votes to make President Trump the president. They interrupted the flow of illegal votes, fake votes, ballots, to increase Hillary's count. That's why she failed in the last moment. And you know what? Let's say it the way it is. Julian Assange was instrumental. He's part of special operations, of course. We can say it now. Julian Assange. So Clinton, Obama, Biden, Clapper, all these bad people, bad and sick people, they planned to to steal the presidency and then kill literally everybody. COVID was planned before. And they failed, as you know, thanks to WikiLeaks, thanks to the hackers and the smart men and women under the command of Julian Assange. And Julian was able to deliver a counter coup in the internet with the US military intelligence and taking out the Clintons and the Clinton Foundation and all connected elements and exposed them. Bang. And they were caught red-handed, hands down. And that's about it. Huh?
At around the time the military intervened and stopped that election steal, Madam Clinton was apparently taken off, and it appears that she watched the first 2 years of the Trump presidency from a small cell, and much to her chagrin, watched very uncomfortably as President Trump took a sledgehammer to the deep state work over those 2 years. Do you have any comment on that?
No, I don't, because I was not involved. You see, I congratulated President Trump through friends I have who live in the Trump Tower. They're known to him, with him, they're neighbors with him since 20 years. And I sent an email to her and the wife of the husband, and I said, please give this to the president. And I don't know President Trump. I don't need to know him. He has better things to do than to talk to me, really. Hopefully I meet him one day. It would be great honor. But really, I congratulated him then already and said, you deserve every vote that you got. And I wrote, I paraphrase now, that you put Mrs. Clinton through the justice system, that what she deserves, bang. And I said, you're a uniter, not only for the United States, a uniter, a rassembleur, but you're also a uniter, an example, a fine example for all the world to watch. And that's what I wrote in email. I still have it, of course. And so you asked me about questions of a coup, which was stopped through a counter coup with the help of Julian Assange and WikiLeaks, who became part of special operations, to foil the criminal attempt by the Clintons and Obama and all these people to destroy the United States much quicker. If they would have succeeded, we wouldn't be speaking now, I guarantee you. All of us would not be here.
Did we come close, Pascal? Or
yeah, of course we came close.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah,
we really did.
Again, Assange and WikiLeaks were heroes because they enabled the counter coup with their knowledge and their data processing, whatever, their sources. And that's the truth. And you will see very soon Assange being declared free all of a sudden. He's not in a prison, of course. Of course not. Yeah, it's all staged. And WikiLeaks was isolated in the embassy, yes. So the deep state thought, the Assange now is like, now we have him. And the trap with Biden was this fake Biden, because Joe Biden was part of this coup already then. And then Biden tried to steal the election, remember? Failed. They caught him too. Caught all of them. Obama again, the whole crew, Clapper. And President Trump said it. They committed treason now. He said at that time in the press conference in the White House, he said, let's see what happens to them now. Bye-bye. And he left the room. It's clear what happened. All right. So
back to your essay about the U.S. military Operation Storm.
Yeah.
At the outbreak of the coronavirus, how was President Trump deceived into signing the emergency documents that supported the web of lies that you talked about?
What do you mean?
Well, President Trump was deceived into signing emergency documents.
No,
That's what you stated in your essay.
Let's make it very clear.
Yeah.
The U.S. military intelligence and the Space Force. By the way, Space Force is now monitoring our call real time. This is good. We're at wartime. They're doing this now.
This is good, yes.
The deep state used to use government assets to spy on the people, to manipulate the population. This time it's around, we use the knowledge and information flow to protect the people. The technology is used now against the deep state. They're finished. Already, as I can declare it to you now, there's some remnants running around now in panic. They'll be taken very soon. But the machine is huge. We're not talking just COVID. We're talking thousands of years. Khazarian mafia. Khazaria is today's Ukraine. The other species, they're not humans. They have betrayed humanity, us, human species, with wrong religion. We don't need religion. God created the universe, created you, me. Do you think God, who creates the universe, I mean, think of it. And he's even bigger than that because he's from the outside. I always told that to Sherry on the last call we had. I cannot be swimming in a pool, on a lawn, in a house, I mean, in a, park, and then say, hey, honey, I'm creating this pool now because I'm already in it, right? That's a lie. Somebody else has put the pool there. Otherwise, I wouldn't be swimming in it, correct? But the Bible says, I came, I created. Wait, you came in. You already were in the universe, right? So, believe me, Jesus Christ and all that's a very difficult topic now, of course, for many, many. But do you think God made an ambassador, said you must go through Jesus or this guy or this book to talk to me? God is in everybody, and have self-confidence in you and talk to him directly because he listens to you. He listens to you. He hears you. Believe you me, he does. And as President Trump always says, in America, we don't worship government. We worship God. And I add to that elegantly to the Swiss corruption and Swiss cabal and Swiss governments that have done this to us. I say, we all worship God. But now we show you where he resides, where God resides. That's it.
I've heard you speak about God and belief in God in the past, and I just wanted to press you on this a little bit. I sense in your take on this, are you de-emphasizing religion and emphasizing spirituality more in favor of religion?
What? Wait.
Is it a fair statement?
The religion, what? See, if you're in touch with God and God lives in you, and that's the case, it will be revealed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do we need religion?
For me, the answer is obvious, but for people
no,
out
I'm
there...
asking you, did your mother give you a book, that an instruction manual how to talk to your mother? No.
No.
You made a mistake? Bang! Right?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
And when you did something great, she took you in the arm and said, you know what, great job, wow, great school, whatever. Yeah, gave you love. So I'm not getting into religious stuff. All I'm saying is the concepts of science are wrong by the Cabal. Cabal sounds modern, but I'm talking about science thousands of years. History, all wrong. We have spacecraft today on the US Air Force and Space Force. They fly. And we can reach A and B on this world, the farthest points, within 1 hour. In the patent, which is now visible in Google patents, anti-gravitational spacecraft, hit enter, you get the US Navy patent with all the mathematical formulas. It's a triangle. That's why the Space Force logo, now you get it. Oops, where is it? Here, right?
I have it as well.
Huh?
I have it too.
Yeah, the logo.
Yes.
That's what the so-called TR-3Bs look like at the moment. They can shape-shift a bit like an aircraft at night, not to make people nervous right now as we speak, but they're flying into Air Force bases in England right now at night. And you can imagine the distance from California or anywhere in Omaha or whatever is normally in 7 to 10 hour flight, normal jet and wings, old-fashioned stuff. Here we do 40 minutes, 30 minutes, depending. And no wings, no noise, no smoke, nothing. Yeah.
I'm so curious to know, where did you learn about this?
Well, I make it easier for you.
Sure.
I'm not bearer of any military secrets. And I'm not talking about any elements of any military secret.
Okay.
This is all now, all of a sudden, accessible. That should tell you something else between the lines.
Mm-hmm.
It's preparing the people, right? If the patent of this thing is a spacecraft, highly sophisticated, right? We always had the technology, but that's a different explanation round by the US military, or the military, to brief you why you will be in a lockdown soon. We always had those things. We came with such things. We don't come from the jungle like the dolphin crawling onto the beach, and then the dolphin grows legs, and then the legs become, and then upright, and then like monkeys, and monkeys become Neanderthals, caves, then the firestone. No. We came here with ships, pretty sophisticated slang, cool shit, right? And yeah. And we are the aliens in a way. God created us. and we are pretty much more intelligent than society thinks we are. We know a lot more. We have the potential is enormous, but we were dumbed down by the deep state, by the Khazarian mafia for thousands of years. And that's gone now. Operation Storm is the war that ends all wars, and current wartime President Trump happens to be at the helm. But this was started by good, late JFK, who recognized the need to get the deep state out of the way because he realized they were lying to him. And I still hope he's alive. Could have been, that's another option now. Maybe they faked the assassination to get President Kennedy out to do his work, continue his work. So Q exists. And as I always say, Q